Hi guys, people go on hunger strike for a whole range of reasons, be it against unfair treatment, lack of human rights, the right to vote, perhaps poor prison conditions, perhaps seeking justice for themselves or others. People go on hunger strike to provide a voice for those who don't have one, and some go on hunger strike to demand governments take action on climate change. While it is a powerful form of protest, its success depends on a number of factors. Now, GB News interviewed a man who has decided to take up this form of protest. But wait till you hear the issue he's campaigning on.
You're a 78-year-old granddad from Blackpool. You're a hard-working British taxpayer all of your life. What on earth has driven you to go on this hunger strike?
I've been at the cenotaph in Blackpool since May, and I've been protesting against the illegal immigrants coming in, and the government's doing nothing. We have to get control of our borders. These people are throwing the passports away, the documentation, and they're here for years and years.
And what else has driven you to this protest? You had some grave concerns, didn't you, about the winter fuel allowance?
When the government came into power, they stopped the winter fuel allowance for the old age pensioners. It's not right. They some of them have got 2 houses. They're getting fuel allowances, which we could only dream of. All we get is £300 to help us. It's not right. It's about 2 words, Martin, right and wrong.
Okay. First of all, so let's start off with the latter part being the winter fuel allowance. Look, the government have said that they're going to save £1.5 billion by means testing this. Now, I'm against the idea of means testing. It's actually cheaper generally not to means test something, just to give it to everyone. But the government's position is if we means test it, we can save 1.5 billion and we will reduce the number of people getting the fuel allowance to those who actually need it. So, rich pensioners don't need it. That's the argument being put forward. Now, we won't really know if it's been a success or not until winter arrives. And those who need the fuel allowance will receive it, and those who don't, well, will get by without it. Now, we'll have to wait and see for that. But I want to go back to the main reason he's going on hunger strike. Over so-called illegal immigrants. Now, where did he get his ideas from? Probably from GB News, maybe from Nigel Farage. This idea that people are throwing away their passports and arriving in Britain illegally. They're not arriving in Britain illegally. We're talking about asylum seekers here, and it's not illegal to claim asylum. Doesn't matter how you arrive in the country, it's not illegal to claim asylum. Not yet, anyway. The Tories tried to make it illegal, but they weren't successful, or some of them anyway. It's not illegal to claim asylum. People are allowed under UN conventions to arrive in the country. It doesn't matter how they arrived, and they should be permitted in making an asylum claim. If it's successful, they stay in the country. If they're unsuccessful, they get deported. Now, that's the plan. Now, when we're talking about so-called illegal immigration, we're generally talking about people who have overstayed their visa or who have absconded when their visa has expired or have abused the conditions of the visa. So, for example, they came on a tourist visa or a student visa and they end up working, which is not permitted. And the government seems to be cracking down on that. But this guy is going on hunger strike over what he thinks are illegal immigrants, when in reality, he's going on hunger strike over asylum seekers. Because we're talking about asylum seekers here, not so-called illegal immigrants. How does somebody get to this stage? Well, they get to this stage by listening to the likes of Nigel Farage and the Conservative Party over the last number of years, and the likes of GB News or Talk TV, who constantly rant and rave about so-called illegal migrants crossing the channel illegally and being put up in hotels and given cars and money and stuff like this. This narrative has filtered down to this guy who should be spending time with his grandchildren, who should be relaxing, maybe having, an allotment or something, doing something constructive. Instead, he's at the Senate House going on hunger strike against something he doesn't understand. A sad state of affairs, and GB News are not there to actually inform him and say, actually, these people are not illegal. They're asylum seekers, and illegal immigrants are people who have, we shouldn't even use that term, but they're people who have overstayed their visa or have abused the visa or are in the country when they shouldn't be in the country. They're two separate things. Why is GB News not actually informing this guy and telling him your hunger strike doesn't make any sense? But they're happy to allow this guy to continue in his ignorance. It's a sad state of affairs, guys. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.